So we're joined today on Highland League Weekly by Keith midfielder Jordan Cooper. He's the latest person to take on our Fantasy Fives challenge, picking his 2 5-a-side teams, the best players he's played with and against. So we'll start, Jordan, with the team made up by guys that you've played with. Just run us through that.
Right, so I'll go for goalkeeper. It was a toss-up between Andy Reid and Davy Day, but I can't pick favourites, but I'll pick Davy Day. I think Davy Day is the most underrated keeper in Highland League. So good. I think he's really hard to actually. He's probably the best shot stopper I think I've seen. Getting into the first season I was at Turriff, we finished second bottom, and he probably would have been bottom if it wasn't for Davy. And I just think he's just gotten better and better as the seasons go by. So I'll have Davy Day as my goalie. And then I'll have centre half Eric Watson. I think even though he was at his end of the career with Locos, I think he was ridiculously good. Just probably the scariest boy I've ever played with, and that is for sure. But you learn a lot from Eric. You know, he was really good with the kind of youth guys at Locos as well. So I'd have to have him as a centre half. I'd pick Neil McLean, centre mid, probably the best player I think I've ever played with, without a doubt. He's the captain of the team anyway. He was just an all rounder. He was so good. He used to take the mick out of me in training. Some of the stuff he pulled out is just. I don't know how he's not played higher, to be honest with you, but yeah, he's definitely in there. And then I'll go for Hamish Ritchie. Yeah, spell with him at Locos, and he came back from America and didn't really know what to expect, but he was unbelievable. Probably the ability wise is ridiculous. And he only played for 3 months, but it was 3 months enough for me to know how good he was. But it was only a matter of time before he'd go up a level. So I'll pick him, and it's got to be Goldie as my striker. He's a natural goal scorer. There's just no doubt about it. He's 39 or something. He's still scoring goals. It's ridiculous. He's just the best striker ever. Best striker in Highland League. But yeah, that's my 5.
Well, the only thing I think Goldie will be annoyed about there is I think you've put about 4 years on him. But aside for that, I'm sure he'll be buzzing. But in terms of the other team, Jordan, run us through that team.
So it was a tough one to pick for a keeper. But I've chose Andy Reid, even though I've played with him. I just felt I had to get him in. He's that good. He's just he probably is one of the best. Probably the best keeper in Highland League. Back then, he was for Martin and Locos and that. And he's a really nice guy off the park. And then when he gets on the park, he's ace. He's probably one of the best shot stoppers as well. And his kicking's he'd help you out a little bit with his kicking, and he'd be launching balls when we were in danger and stuff. And he did that when I played against him as well. And so he'd be my keeper. Centre half Brian Hay just wins everything in the air. He's so hard to play against. Can't really remember ever whenever I put up a through ball, you'd always get the end of it. He was just solid. Yeah, and he always scored a goal whenever time I've played against him as well. So he'd be good enough 5-a-side. I went from midfielders. I went Glenn Murison. He was at Huntly. Again, just so hard to play against. He's physical. He was never getting bullied off the ball or anything like that. He was always quite, and he was also really good with his feet as well. And he knew where the goal was as well. So I'd have to put him. Andy McCaskill, one of the best feet in the league, without a shadow of a doubt. I guarantee he gets picked on here pretty much every week. But he's unreal. Definitely in that team. And then probably Scott Barber. I hate marking him anywhere on the park because he just rolls me every 2 minutes. So I always try and avoid marking when I'm playing against him. So Yeah, that's my five players I would have.
Very good. And the key question to finish, Jordan, if those two teams play one another, who would win?
I've got to pick the players that I've played with. I think if anyone was trying to score out of Watson, we're going he'd beat them. We've got the physical presence there with him, so yeah, I just think they'd pass the ball about, and Goldie would no bother. He'd just sit up top. He'd probably be offside half the time, but he'd be scoring. That's for sure.